So
Right.
he was a sitcom news person. So
Now, what was your dad check? What was on in your house that you
Oh,
can
he used to
remember?
watch. My dad was All in the Family,
Yep.
Oh, all the family. Oh, man.
The Jeffersons?
The Jeffersons.
Jeffersons. Good Times.
No.
What you mean?
No,
wait,
we
wait,
couldn't-
stop.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait.
We couldn't watch Good Times.
Wait, you watched?
811 crew, we are back. It feels like it's been a while since we were together in the
It
chair
does.
together, man, right?
It does. It's been a while. But we're back.
We're back. 811 crew, Jason Turner and Sluggerific.
Ulysses Slugger Glenn
Hey,
from
we're-
Twinsburg.
Hey, we're checking in with you. We're feeling good. And, you know, we got to remind folk, I think, why you need to check out 811 crew. Why should you spend time with us? Because we are certainly the unofficial experts on living your best life after 50. Don't you
We
agree,
are.
Slugger?
We
We
are.
are absolutely the best. The crew.
I'm glad I brought you into this because I already knew I knew everything. So now I realize you knew like 99% of the stuff. So with that, we know everything.
And what's
So-
really interesting about the show, as we talk about, is really helping to illuminate and bring forth all of your knowledge and how
Exactly.
interesting it is to listen to you because you indeed know everything,
Right.
except what you don't know.
those
And that's
things I
what
don't
makes
ta-
it interesting.
And those things I don't talk about.
Exactly. Well, guess what? We are going to talk about something that I feel like Generation Xers, this is uniquely kind of Generation X over 50, and this is about television shows from the past. Now, television is different for us, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
when we were growing up, think of just the word television, okay? Like TV. That is becoming that's becoming the way of like the 8-track, like the TV. If you
Most
think
people,
about it.
first of all, people only had, if you had more than one TV in your house, there was usually one family TV and your parents had a TV in their room.
And of course, we gonna get to how many TVs the Glenn family had because we know that you was way above the mean, whatever the average was. You was triple that. But go ahead.
We couldn't have TVs in our room.
Right.
Even though our grandparents bought us a TV, we could not have them. And our parents took them out.
Wow. Okay. Good. Was
So
it a color? It was a color jump. It was a black and white. I mean,
No,
it was
we
a-
had color. Our grandparents
You don't
bought
have.
us,
It wasn't a Sony though, was it?
I forgot, wherever, Samsung,
Okay.
wherever was out there, we each had a TV in our room, but our parents took it out.
Better not have been no Trinitron. You
I don't
don't
know. It
remember the Sony Trinitron?
Where
was
where
Sony.
where did they put your TVs?
Oh, they would just put them in the basement.
Oh,
they
so there
were-
was like TVs lined up in the basement?
No, they
Just-
bought after our grandparents because my parents told them not to buy us a TV. My grandparents bought it anyway, and it was in our room for maybe a week, and we couldn't watch. We could only. There were so many weird rules, so you couldn't come home and watch in your go in your room and watch TV. Like that's how understand how kids stay in their room all day.
Right.
That never happened in our house. You couldn't watch it at night before you went to bed. So then they just took it because we kept doing it.
Well, you know what? The thing about it is there was so much less content. Like for now,
Oh, yeah.
it would be so much more. It's so much more damaging when you take these video tools away from kids or restrict them today. I mean, you got people that they go crazy if they're Netflix. If you don't have T-Mobile and Netflix included, people want their cable bills. I mean, there's literally millions of channels. When we were growing up, you just had ABC, CBS, NBC, and then a couple other channels.
You didn't even have Fox at the time, remember?
Well, Fox was kind of Channel 5. Well, there was what was
It wasn't originally. It was just like you had ABC, CBS,
Yes, and
NBC,
and
and
then
PBS.
that
PBS, and you had the VHS.
and the VHF,
And
whatever
VHF,
station, which was
VHF.
Channel 20 here in
It was
DC.
43, and then we got 61 in
Right.
Cleveland.
We also
Yeah.
had 20 and 45. So yes, and that was all you
That's all
had,
you had.
right? And just think about how much. Don't you feel how much society has changed because of that? So, like, in one hand, it's like we've gotten all these other channels and all this new media, right? But in many ways, I don't know if we know more or we just think we know more.
But the thing is about having all these channels, I will go to turn on something, and they'll turn the TV on, and there's nothing I want to watch. You're like, there's nothing on. Like, at least 75% of the channels they can get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the cable people know it, but they make you buy it in the package. If you like ESPN, they're going to make you buy this other thing with it. If you like HGTV, they've done the research, so they know
Right.
people.
The bundles that people
But that's
want.
how we grew up. There was
Yeah.
always, wait a minute now, that's when you had your TV times growing up
Oh, yeah.
because
Well,
your
yeah.
shows weren't always on.
Oh,
See,
oh,
you
yeah.
just showed a different thing. Like, you're like, I turn it on and there's nothing I want to watch.
wanna watch.
Well, that's how we grew up.
Right.
There
Yeah,
were
like,
certain
turn it
times
off.
that your shows would come on, and besides that, you might be outside playing. For
But do you remember we used to, on Saturday nights, the whole family sat down and watched TV together because
Friday, yeah.
that was
Okay.
that was kind of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you that
yeah,
was
Friday,
what you did.
Saturday nights,
Yeah.
you watch TV. Or
But everybody was watching at the same
Same time,
time. People
the
weren't
same
on their
program.
phones. So I think technology, like kids, people don't look up. They walk down the street on the wrong side of the street or the sidewalk, just looking at their phones. I think it's technology has pulled us away from each other because we're not getting
I can
together.
I can even show you. I brought my nephew, like when smart TVs first came out. I bought him a smart TV. My brother had it hung on the wall and everything. He is watching TV on his phone.
Right.
And we're like, and my brother's like, we might as well get rid of
Might
this.
as well get
rid
rid
of
of
the
it.
TV.
I mean,
He's like-
Samsung. It's good that Samsung is in the phones because I don't know how much
I'm
longer we're
like-
gonna have TVs on the wall.
You know what? As a non-Generation X person, I realize that I'm not a. I realize I'm not Generation X or a Millennial. Well, what am I? Generation X?
We're
Gen
Generation
X.
X.
Oh yeah, I forget what I am. Okay,
Now,
so I'm
and
not
you
right.
know what?
I am a Gen X. All right. So
One area. There's two
just remind
areas
me
I
of that.
want.
I am Generation X.
Yes,
We
You are
are
X.
Generation X. It's
Okay.
two areas
not a
in.
millennial.
You're not millennial.
Okay.
Do we
You
need
are
to make you a
Generation
tag
X.
that says?
I think I need one. 'Cause I
Right.
always forget what I
You
am.
really do
Just think
forget all
about
the time.
the
We
move-
do.
right. No.
You're old.
If
X.
you were
Just think
enough
X,
to
old.
watch Malcolm X or have an X hat, you are Generation X.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
There's something to
Okay.
remember about that. Okay.
Malcolm X.
Okay.
Just remember
There you go.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm
No,
X.
but there's two.
So I'm
Really,
Generation
y'all. I
X.
really want
Wow.
to think about two areas that I think has really played a difference. One is in news, and the other is with sitcoms.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to ask about the news real quick first, okay? But back in the day, something that struck me is now we don't know what the truth is necessarily anymore. Back in the day, you think Walter Cronkite
Right.
Oh, yeah.
used to end every time he signed off, he would say, "And that's the way it is." Can you imagine?
There was no-
That's the way it is.
And when Walter Cronkite said that, you're like, that's it.
the way it is.
He
That
said
is-
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. And
Well,
there
the-
was honesty, and there was a real responsibility that I felt that Walter Cronkite
Had
and
to
Tom
deliver-
Brokaw
had to deliver
and,
to-
and,
yeah.
and
Peter
Dan Rather
Jennings.
and Peter those mugs are
Ted Koppel.
they competed for the best and realest and truest stories about America.
Where-
It was not. Now it's just make believe.
Whereas
Who can
now-
have the biggest theater?
Whereas now you have Democrat news, you have Republican
Oh,
news. And
horrible.
as a kid, I remember when we got cable, even when Fox News, when CNN, you never knew that they
Right.
where they were.
Which party they were in.
Until the last 10 years, I'll say, it really became, you really saw what they were.
Well, I can
And
definitely
so-
say we can lighten up, but all I can say moving on is that if Tim Russert were alive, God rest his soul.
Oh, yeah, we missed
none
him.
of this foolishness would be
Right.
going down. Can I just tell you that Tim
When-
Russert would
when he
would
used to
not
bring
have
the-
gone with this.
When he would bring out, well, in 1980, you said he would have.
Oh, he'd be killing these fools. Trump would not have gotten let. Tim Russert would have been
all.
looking at him like, "Stop it!" But listen, we got to lighten up because we can't wait. Sometimes this I shouldn't have said the news because that can make it heavy. Let's
Yeah.
lighten it up a little bit because there are some real
Sitcoms.
big sitcoms that I grew up on, that we grew up on.
Right.
I got to start one of my look up now. And these sitcoms and these things really informed like your behavior, how you thought about yourself, what you watched,
Oh, yeah.
etc.
My dad was a huge sitcom person, so
Right.
he was a sitcom news person. So
Now, what was your dad check? What was on in your house that you
Oh,
can
he used to
remember?
watch. My dad was All in the Family,
Yep.
Oh, all the family. Oh man,
The Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons.
Jeffersons. Good Times.
No.
What you mean?
No,
wait,
we
wait,
didn't
stop.
watch
What do you
couldn't-
mean?
Oh, wait,
We couldn't watch Good Times.
Wait, you watched the Jeffersons, but you didn't watch Good Times?
Right.
It's
My-
all coming together now.
No.
There is no Good Times on in your house. You can't sing any part of the song.
Well, I can now because,
because
not only because what I did once I became black in my black
you went to the Jackson's house down the street and watched Good Times.
Well, no, I went and I bought the box set so I could watch, so I would know what people were talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had kind of seen like
So you
one
could
or
learn
two.
up on his blackness.
So I was like, okay. And then to make it even,
So you never saw Janet Jackson?
Well, I saw
on
I
Good
saw
Times? Never
ran-
saw the episode where her mom about to burn her with the
I saw
iron.
random
this
ones.
was must see
like
TV.
like
yo.
if I was at my grandparents' house,
my
we
God.
could watch certain things. We could sneak. They didn't care.
Were
Like,
your parents trying to shield you from the notion of the projects? Was
thought
there
it
something that they
was-
didn't want you to see?
I
There?
think at that time they thought it showed black people in a bad way.
Mm.
But in recent times, I had a conversation with my mother talking about it. I said, to be honest, it actually showed a black family. There was a father, mother.
Yes.
They had kids. I said they
Yes.
actually were of structure, and he didn't believe in drugs.
That's right.
He worked.
They're
and
very
actually,
religious.
And then when you actually hear the I guess the background, what was going on, the reason why John Amos left was because of how the buffoonery, I guess, that JJ was doing, he didn't believe in.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually went, if I do something, I go full throttle.
Well, now,
So-
now your parents.
But wait, it gets even better. What's the Janet? No, what's the one? The lady,
Janet's.
the daughter, Thelma.
Thelma.
Thelma's
Oh, yeah,
actually
Thelma.
married. She's actually married to a guy I went to college with.
Oh, come on.
Right. So when
You went over their house?
No, I haven't been. To
Are
the
you
house.
going? You know Thelma? You know
Yes.
where she lived though.
Yeah, I do know Thelma.
We need to get Can you text somebody now and get a picture right now of like her eating some pizza or something? I just want to know what she looks like. She's got to still look good.
Oh, she does.
gotta
I've actually
still
seen.
look good.
I've seen her out at places, at events. She's actually married to an alpha.
You've seen her out at events.
Yeah, she's married to an alpha I went to school with.
Wow.
And his brother's a Noob and his sister's a Delta. They all went to school.
Wow, and Thelma is
Right.
right there. That is
I'm
really
like-
good. But you know what though? I got to tell you something. One thing that reminded me of not necessarily sitcoms, but shows from the past, and that were epic is Dallas.
Oh,
Ooh.
Dallas.
Now listen, with
Who
Dallas,
shot
oh
JJ?
my God, this
The
was
football
oh
Friday,
my God,
everybody's
come
like,
on.
get the football game over because we got to run home to see who shot.
Dallas.
Dallas.
And what I
JR.
remembered was this is what, and tell me if y'all don't agree. The intro song for Dallas conveyed, and when I realized that Game of Thrones has that same
yeah.
thing, like where you are watching, I get excited when I hear the intro come on. When Dallas, you see that mansion on the range and the horses.
I actually visited the mansion.
Oh man,
my God. Are you-
South Fork Ranch.
Have you?
I'm a nerd.
You are a nerd.
You
You're
visited
a
South
nerd.
Fork. I mean, the
I've
house
visited
really doesn't look that big.
It's
You
not
look at
that
a
big.
rerun now. That
It's
looks
not
like a
that big.
4-bedroom joint.
It is.
People,
It looks like your house that you grew up in. Right?
Millennials
You
probably-
look like, man, it looks like my neighborhood.
Millennials probably don't even know what you're talking about. The opening scene. They
Oh.
don't have opens to shows anymore. They have theme songs.
Oh my gosh, Dallas is epic.
There's really no hour-long shows that come on anymore, really.
Well, I mean, everything had an epic beginning. Hawaii 5-0.
What was Living
everything.
Single?
We're living in
Jason, you know the song?
In a
So you have
magic
seen
kind
this
of
show.
world, I'm glad I got my
Keep your
girl.
Keep your head
Yeah,
up,
I know
yo.
that
Keep
song.
your
I know
head
that
up.
song.
But and Overton's from Cleveland.
Okay.
His dad used to work with me at Blue Cross.
Yeah.
Wait a
But
minute.
those
You
are
said you
more
saw
so.
Living Single? I thought you hadn't seen Living Single.
I just noticed. I've seen it. Erica Alexander.
So you've
Kim
seen-
Fields.
Have you seen Friends?
No. Well, I mean, I've seen a couple. Have I watched like Friends? Like,
Right.
no, I am
Like, you
not
don't know-
a Friends
like,
watcher. I have Friends, but I have not. I've probably seen like 2 or 3 episodes of Friends.
Really?
What?
So you haven't seen
This has haunted me throughout popular culture too, because you can imagine I've had jobs in Friends where there were all these like Friends references. I've also, let me just add to that. These are the white sitcoms I have not watched. List would include Friends, The Office, and Seinfeld.
What?
Look, stop it.
Shocker.
It's
Have
official.
you've never watched Seinfeld?
I mean,
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada,
I've heard these
No
things.
Soup for You?
I know these things, but I
No-
have no
no soup
idea
for you.
what the.
Master of your own.
Look,
I
look,
have
look.
no idea what.
I'm out.
I'm out. Master of my domain.
Yo, can y'all slow down real quick?
So
Y'all
you have
hit
no-
me with-
you have no idea?
I have heard these things, but I have no context to what they mean. I don't know where they were. They could have been in Kingston.
So
and I
when
don't know.
everyone in the world was
puffy
watching all
shirt?
this stuff,
What were you doing?
What were you doing?
I mean, I was probably watching the rewind of Happy Days. I was probably watching Fantasy Island with Mr. Rourke. I was probably saying the plane. Look, that you don't,
think that was
you don't remember
way-
what that is.
Oh, I remember.
I
Fantasy
Okay,
remember.
Island.
listen. If I say the plane, that should immediately you should think of Tuesday night at 10 o'clock.
Wow,
that's-
he
wow.
remembers.
I
the
mean, that's
day.
what I remember.
And
on
you didn't know that
ABC,
All
baby.
in the Family
on
came on
ABC.
Saturdays?
No, because I'm
Love
sorry,
Boat,
because
so you
Love
were-
Boat came on
First, Love Boat,
and then Fantasy
then
Island
Fantasy
right
Island.
after
I thought
that.
Love Boat was a Friday, Saturday. That wasn't.
No, that was Tuesday.
No, because Dukes of Hazzard and stuff was.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know when Dukes of
Dukes of
Hazzard.
Right,
Hazzard,
Dukes of Hazzard
man,
was-
that was
yeah.
my shot right there
Yeah,
too.
I-
That,
I-
Did you
another
really
one.
like the show, or did you just like?
No, we were too young to be
Daisy Dukes.
Daisy
Yeah,
Dukes.
and things were not political back then. That's crazy to think that a car with a Confederate flag
Confederate
was drumming.
flag.
We were loving the
Do you
General
know they won't
Lee.
run reruns of
Yeah,
that?
they won't.
Because of the
They can't.
Confederate
Yeah,
flag?
and see, that's where I kind of go. I mean, I don't know.
Me
you
and
know?
my next door neighbor and I used to be Bo and Luke Duke.
Yeah.
You could not tell.
You
us
could not tell us that, and and you see how culture cancellation is a little
I
real
felt-
because that
Tom
car did
Wopat
not
and
bother
John-
me at all.
What's that? Tom Wopat, John Schneider.
Yes,
Yeah.
He went
I
on
like
to
the
be
car.
in that Tyler Perry sitcom.
Yeah.
Not
he-
sitcom
yeah.
drama.
Yeah, he's on
But
that. He's
I
on that.
still want to. Have we really? So you were watching alternative channels when?
You know
So
what?
when
I don't think
Seinfeld-
so because when that came out, we were adults really by then. But I just felt, I guess that
I think
just
Seinfeld
I did not
came on
identify.
Wednesdays or It was either Wednesday or Thursday. Must see TV.
Must see TV.
So
I
must be
identified
Thursdays.
Seinfeld the same way that black folks identify the Cosby Show or Living Single or Different World. I thought that Seinfeld, The Office, and those things registered those things for white folks. So I did
Really?
not personally feel drawn to those shows. And in fact, in my mind, I still would believe that the majority of black people were not watching those shows.
But you,
Now, I could
The
be wrong.
Office is
Oh, the
I
major.
could be
First of
wrong.
all,
I could be wrong. But
Idris
but-
Elba was on the.
I mean, I
was
just
on The
never
Office,
remember.
too.
I just never remember getting up with
Yep.
getting up with brothers and being like, "Man, did you see The Office last night?"
I mean, The Office was
I just
hilarious.
don't remember everybody
So-
saying, "Yo,
so
Jay,
you-
man, did you check out that Seinfeld
so you-
episode?"
so you
I'm
know-
sorry, it just wasn't.
Yes, they
maybe
did,
Yes,
though.
they
they
did.
did,
Yes,
but
they did.
maybe at y'all's corporate water cooler. That's what if you think
Seinfeld
about the
goes
root
back
cause,
to
you all were.
college.
So,
Doesn't it?
yeah, I might have still been in.
I think I
college.
was
And
in
where
high
did you
school.
all both go to college? Michigan, Cincinnati.
Were
Now,
you
if I wonder how many HBCU students were watching Seinfeld in The Office. I don't know. We got to add.
But no,
I don't know.
so The Office.
I just think
you know The Office comes from the movie Office Space.
Yeah,
You never
okay.
saw
Okay,
Office
now
Space?
you,
I don't
now
know.
You, now
Now
you
you
lost.
just-
Oh,
Okay,
you
yeah.
didn't see Office? See,
So,
I do.
see.
I do. You guys didn't see Office Space?
I don't know
I don't
anything
even know-
about it.
I don't even
but
know
I
what
can
it
tell
is.
you. But I can tell you what that it was a different day, and I don't know if we've improved. All I know is that I feel like we've spoken probably 5 million more words than our kids because they are just always typing everything and always
yada,
looking
yada.
down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I got to find out. Listen, I'm
You've
going to
got
check
to.
out some Friends and some Office and some
All right.
Seinfeld.
Because they have.
And I'm gonna come up with, you know what? I'm gonna come up with a game like name that episode. I'm gonna pick an episode and watch it. I'm gonna say a sentence and see if you all can
Okay, let's do
identify.
that.
the-
Let's do that.
the
Because you
thing.
know you'll know.
I'm gonna
about
come up
the
with a
puff-
game.
I actually
Right.
have. So you've never seen.
So
my
I'm gonna
house?
come up with a quote. I'm gonna be like, name that episode.
The picture. I have a miniature puffy shirt from.
Oh my God.
Because I bought the.
But it's a puffy shirt.
Oh, you've never seen. So you don't know the puffy shirt?
I don't know what it is, but I don't even know if we have time to talk about that. Can I? Maybe you should just tell me what episode that is. You know what I mean? But don't we? But look, we had a poll question. Wait a minute, Carmen. Are we going?
We're going to take a break.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We're going to take a break. We
You
gotta
know,
pay,
we talked a lot about
we got to
stuff.
pay the bills.
We got to take a break. I appreciate it, man. I don't know. I got a lot of catching up to do. 811 crew, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
811 crew, we are back and we're walking down the sitcom memory lane, yo.
Yep.
Generation X
Versus
television,
millennials.
millennial. Who we got? Oh,
We have Carmen. We have
millennial.
the official. I'm like an old millennial.
right. We have millennial expertise.
I'm like I'm kind of like a fake millennial, or like, you know what I'm saying?
You just really want to be a millennial, don't
He's
you?
like
I actually thought I was for a
a
while.
transfer student. That's what we're gonna call
Yeah,
you.
I'm like a transfer millennial.
Malcolm.
and again, and this is a crew, right? I mean, the basis of the 811 crew is the Generation X's, but we have millennials. What would we be?
But
what kind
my-
of crew would we be
I-
without
I-
millennials in the crew? Carmen is our millennial crew member.
Yeah.
Right. What you got? What you
All
got?
right. So Carmen, what do we have? We have a poll question.
Mm-hmm.
So our poll question, we have Carmen here to help us with this poll question: living single versus friends.
Ooh.
And so this should be interesting because.
Do you remember the controversy?
Controversy.
Controversy.
And it wasn't.
Wait a minute. Controversy on Friends or living? What controversy?
If you notice, Living Single didn't really have a series finale.
I did not notice that.
There was no. So what happened? So Friends. So realize Friends.
And I
Living
wasn't
Single,
and I wasn't at the AKA meeting where they were discussing it. Maybe you were. But go ahead.
Dang.
Well, like, whoa.
Shots fired.
Shots like, damn.
Wow.
Maybe he was just in
Ulysses
pop
knows
culture and you
everything.
were you weren't in it.
You're not
Mr.
really
Non
Knows
Seinfeld.
everything. I mean, you don't have to take that person. I mean, you. Why?
The uncles are
I
fighting.
think
really
I'm
did.
just
Look,
asking.
I'm with you.
Maybe
Damn.
you said that.
So-
What's
so-
the problem with being at the AKA meeting?
So real because I'm not AKA.
Anywho, the controversy,
So realize they were the same show. One was just African American, one was white.
and which came first?
And Living Single.
Yes, it did.
Realize it's the
Is
same.
that it was
They're the
Living
same
Single
show.
Same
was,
show?
Yes.
Same show.
Exact same.
You never
show.
realized it?
So when Living Single it became a hit. We were watching it, and then all of a sudden this Friends thing
Came on
and I remember thinking, what the?
because they're
What?
They're
That is
rating.
new. Are you serious?
Can I,
Like you saying
can I
that?
break it down for you
Break
right
it
quick?
down, please.
So there's a woman, like there's an apartment full of women, and then there's an apartment full of men in both in both shows, and they're across the hall from each other in both shows, and then one falls in love with one from the other.
Yep.
It's literally the exact same show.
They're both like middle class blacks, middle
I
class
mean,
whites.
but we're not talking about like
And they're-
Three's Company. I mean, like
No.
okay, you
It's
making
the
me need to check this
exact
out
same.
now.
And they,
Okay,
they
wait a
were
minute
in,
now.
They were in New York. They were just getting their careers going on both.
So
on both of them.
I actually didn't watch Friends for a second because there were a lot of people that were angry.
people were
But then, what did it have to do with the way the Living Single just went off? You're saying
because
it just
they
ended?
had. It just ended. They didn't let them come back because they wanted Friends to become the bigger show, like Jennifer Aniston.
Were they both on the
Courtney-
same network?
No,
No.
Living Single was on Fox.
Fox, but it was
Friends.
it was doing really well.
And then it
next thing you know,
stopped.
it just stopped. There's no series finale. You don't know what happened to the.
It was Google it. It was a
Google.
trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sitcom
And so
drama.
and people don't know that.
People know, and if you notice, the people from Living Single, they always find jobs for them. Most of the women always have jobs on Living Single. They're doing something.
Are you really?
Are you trying to say they were trying to make up for it?
To me, I think they are, but I don't know anything proved. But you ever notice Queen Latifah's always working?
Yeah, she
I mean,
was.
but Queen Latifah is very talented. Okay, I don't think
She-
that's
I thought
because
she was
they
at the
shut.
US Open.
I'm not sure they
Yeah,
shut.
right.
Are you saying that Queen Latifah's talent is related to Living
No,
Single
no,
being
no.
unceremoniously canceled?
No, I think they. I think.
I don't know. I thought it was 'cause of
remember she had her own. She had her own talk show. Then Kim Fields
I
had
just
some other
remember
stuff.
her and Jada in the movie. With,
Set it up right.
I
Even
just
that.
remember set it off.
Set it
yo.
off.
Okay.
I wonder how many people know of that controversy. Like how many people?
I had no
There's-
knowledge of it, but that's going to be part of my
People
my
that are
learning.
woke know this. But let's go back to Carmen. Let's see what our poll question is: living single
Yeah.
versus friends. So this should be in this neighborhood. In this
Well,
area.
thank
this
you.
should be
Now that I
interesting.
have more context about this, break it down.
All right. So we asked the people, and the people was like, "We love living single."
Yes.
75% said living single. 25% said friends.
Wow.
Really?
This is
Living
fascinating.
single.
I had no idea when you
head up,
asked the
what?
question. I was like, "What is the comparison between living single and friends?" Now I get it.
Like
Wow, thank you for telling me that.
Overton and Joey were kind of like the dumb
Yeah.
guys.
God, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that one. Yeah.
Wow, wow.
I think we should do a writing campaign and have Living Single brought back. What you
Is
think?
there any sitcom that's there right now that has that same type of resonance at all? Is there
Not
anything
on
that
the-
we're thinking
Not on,
about?
not on,
Not
net, yeah, not
Is
on.
there anything?
Not
I
on
mean,
big-
what? Come on. There's got to be something out there that hits. Come
the
on.
Neighbors.
BET. Oh, on networks.
The Neighbors.
Oh,
Oh no, no,
Neighbors.
no. What's the school show? The teacher.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
Abbott
good.
Elementary.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
a good show.
the Neighbors is good with Cedric.
The Neighbors is good.
Yeah, the Neighbors. I watched.
I haven't
sitcoms.
seen anything that has. There is nothing in my mind that has grabbed the entire universe in 30 minutes the way it used to back in the day.
No.
No, Abbott Elementary is getting close because they have the prime time slot where Modern Family used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, Modern
There you
Family.
go. Okay. Well,
It's
there you
getting
go.
there.
Now, what is Abbott Elementary? Maybe I should have
yada, yada, yada.
briefly in the time we have left. What is Abbott Elementary?
It's
We're
a
gonna-
Philadelphia Philadelphia public school, and it just talks about public. It's
So
basically
you know
public
about
service.
this show too?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's-
well, I mean that
You
We'll
obviously
put it
are
on the
not-
list of
yeah.
things you don't know.
Shows you should.
I mean,
you
Yeah.
only,
Shows you
I
should
don't know
watch.
where you
You
get
wa-
all this time. You
you
watch
have
every
to
add
sitcom from the
Abbott.
past and the ones from 2022.
Friends.
And
The
the
Office.
controversies around
Office.
living single.
Wait,
Don't
what
you-
else do we have? Abbott Elementary, Friends, Seinfeld, The Office,
Friends,
Cheers.
you ever
mean,
watch Cheers?
Jay,
Jason.
We gotta go
watch
to
Cheers.
We gotta go to commercial with that one.
I'm glad
too.
this wasn't in the interview process for this podcast.
You don't
I'm
watch
glad that
Cheers?
criteria.
I've seen
I think you know what I'm saying. Well, cheers to that. Okay. I tell you what. All I can say is 811 crew. We are out.
You right.
Thank you.
811 crew. We are back, and we gonna keep on talking about how apparently I don't know nothing about Generation X TV sitcom
You don't know
culture.
nothing. You're right. Nothing.
And,
No,
and that's news to me because
What's-
I feel like I'm generally generally knowledgeable.
what's the last series you watched?
the last like TV
Yeah.
like what
Like-
regular
Like Cosby Show, Different
I
World.
mean,
That you
I mean,
sat
what-
down and like actually watched.
Like,
the
like
show.
you've watched.
know what?
Like you've watched Different World before, haven't you?
Heart to Heart
Stop.
is
Did you just say
resonates
Heart to
with
Heart?
me. Thomas and Jennifer Hart. You don't know nothing about that,
my
do you?
God.
You don't know nothing about
Yes.
don't know nothing about Thomas
Heart
and
to
Jennifer
Heart.
Hart.
I think
That was like
that-
my parents' show.
That came on Thursday nights.
It like
I
loved
wouldn't.
it.
I wouldn't broadcast
It-
that you
it
watch
came on-
Heart to Heart and you didn't watch Friends,
that-
Seinfeld, Cheers,
'Cause-
Office, and all those shows.
That's
'Cause it-
because the
'cause then-
Heart to Heart came on after
like 10 o'clock
Charlie's Angels.
But
okay,
no.
so we see what you were watching.
No, now see, I didn't watch Charlie's Angels. Okay, I only watched Heart to Heart because
But
they
Heart-
would go around the world. They had the Mercedes, they had the Rolls Royce,
Wasn't
and
he
the
married
private
to?
plane.
Because he was married to Natalie Wood.
He was playing Natalie Wood.
Right,
yeah.
right,
In,
yeah,
in,
yeah.
in real life,
In real life.
In real
yeah,
life,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
not in the show.
You're
And
right. No, in
Stephanie-
real life.
And what was her name? Stephanie Powers, or
Yeah,
or
she was-
that-
yeah, she was
right,
cute. Yeah, she was
back
hot.
in the
Yeah,
day,
she was
right?
hot. Yeah.
They had the driver.
Yeah, I remember they
You
were
know, that
hot.
who was
God,
from
that
New
is
York.
not a show I would have just picked out. That was like, woo.
I mean,
you
I'm just
grabbed
saying.
that out
I
of
mean,
the
you
air.
just grab. I mean, I'm just talking about stuff that resonated with me. I mean,
Okay,
you all
Heart to
like
Heart.
Heart
look.
to Heart. Okay.
Yeah, you remember that though.
Yeah, I do.
You
I
like all the shows I
Oh, yeah, I
named,
like
though.
Heart to Heart,
I know
yeah,
everything
but
I
I-
watched.
But
You-
it's just
you
kind of
watched.
off the cuff random.
Well, look,
So how did
you
you
know
like?
what? You know what another show that resonates with me was? Now I'm not going to talk about silly sitcoms. I'm talking about classic TV like Miami Vice, yo.
I didn't
Miami
really
Vice.
watch Miami
I
Vice.
lived in Miami when Miami Vice came
That
out.
was just one big video.
Now that was beforehand. It was different.
Did you
That was
that
Phil
wasn't
Collins.
the Miami
They just
of
did
now.
I just watched
Oh,
a
man.
show on Miami Vice and how
you better
it
talk
was
about
like the whole video. Phil Collins.
Yes.
All they would do is get in the car and just drive.
Did you
down the
watch-
street.
But that's
Did you-
another one that
did you watch
iconic
Bay-
intro like
Did you
Miami
watch?
Vice.
Did you watch Baywatch as well?
I did not watch Baywatch,
I mean,
but
you
we
watched-
know you did
I
because
didn't
you're
watch-
talking about it.
I didn't watch
If you're
Baywatch at
talking
all.
about it, then that means you know about it.
I didn't watch Baywatch. I didn't watch Miami Vice or anything.
You didn't watch Miami Vice.
No, I didn't.
But you watched The Office.
Yes.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
watched.
That. You know, that was probably on your do not watch list with Good Times. They probably didn't want you to see anything about Miami drug culture either. You
I just-
know?
it just
It's
wasn't-
like, wow.
Like it just never really
You-
something. It just.
You never thought about Miami till you were in college, probably. Huh?
We're gonna, but you know, we're gonna give you a list of shows
Yes.
you have to watch
Please.
because so like how like you never at work like oh yeah when those shows were hot. You
Yeah,
would
I
just be
remember. I remember the white people I worked with, and I was often in technical sales, the only black person. Everybody, I was the only one in the office who was not talking about those things. So perhaps my office politics wasn't as. It could have been better.
Do you watch like morning shows?
I definitely watched the Today Show.
And they talk about new shows coming
That's
out.
true. They do. I mean, I've been on the Today Show 3 times.
That's right,
So,
you were.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I thought you were on there more than that.
no, just 3 times.
Yeah,
but
like-
my goal was to be on there with Hoda and Kathy Lee just
You were, yeah,
one
like-
time, and I was on there 3 times. So
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
felt
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. You were on there with Rick Younger.
I was. Yes, I was
Yeah,
on there with
yeah.
Rick Nugger.
Ah,
And some
yeah,
other
yeah.
ones, too.
We
Absolutely.
need to find out where that why you were on. But
Oh, that was good. That was good. You
Yeah,
never. Oh,
absolutely.
you didn't know that? Oh, Jason's like famous. All right, so now we have to roll into we have a poll question for our next show.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
Talk about it.
so Carmen will be back. We'll be back on the streets for you people. So the next poll question is: if you could change or improve one thing about yourself, what would it be? And it would be something physically. It doesn't mean you have to go back and watch a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
This would be something.
Right. And you know what? This is a really fascinating question because you feel like at over 50, there's something that you always wish about yourself that
I'm
you
perfect.
could change, or maybe you
Oh,
are
yeah.
perfect. So we won't be talking about anything you change that you made. But for the rest of us, I definitely have stuff. We want to find out, what would you change? I know what I changed. What I
would you
changed.
change?
Well, we'll talk about that on the next episode. Then, right?
On the next episode.
Yo, we're 811 Crew, and we are out.
Thank you.
Let's go, pick your feet up though. Let's go, pick your feet up though.